hire a more logical person rather than someone who really does love the game so much but promises so much and then can't deliver and just disappoints.
It's getting to the point where when I'm like, you know, Mage Vid for CEO, I will completely, like, you know, pull this game. Like, I've never been a CEO, and I've also, like, all of my game design experience is purely on paper. I've never actually produced anything. And yet it sounds, like, better than half of the shit that actually gets done, but that's because it's like, they're doing exactly what I do. They're just promising shit, making shit up, and then not delivering it, so...
Yeah, that's not the way you actually should be doing things, and that's what I said. I mean, I love Mod Mark and Mod Osborne, but I think they might be a little bit out of their depth.
It's possible,
and I don't think
you got to remember where they started.
Exactly right, and that's what I mean. You know, these are guys who are, you know, I mean, they do love the game, but you know, there's a time where passion needs to take a back step to, you know, just logic and just being sensible in what you promise and things like that. And that's what I mean. I don't think they deliberately go out to sort of screw everyone over. And I said right from the start they bit off more than they can chew with that promise of the 3 updates. And I said, you can go back to that first show and see. And I said right then, nah, that's, yeah, I am not optimistic about that promise. And of course, after the first one, with the way everyone jumped up and down and such about it, you know, that's what happens. But anyway, we'll see. Hopefully, this Runefest, they will, as you said, curtail it. What I did love is they're actually, as I said again, they put the skilling on the second stage. But they're actually live streaming that on YouTube and live streaming
that is gonna
one on Twitch. I thought that was brilliant.
I'm so excited about that. Yeah.
Yes.
Because we can be like, oh, it's like old school on the main stage. Hang on, let's switch over to stage B and see what they're, you know, talking. Like, oh yeah, like, oh, it's gonna make live streaming get so much easier if we can switch between stages, and that means we don't have to miss the skilling talk.
Exactly, and that's what that was my biggest thing, because I mean, I don't give a stuff about your streamers, and
I know, exactly.
And sit in a circle jerk with each other.
I know. Q&A for Jagex's big streamers. It's like, listen, unless they're gonna like give us some reveals about how like what RuneScape is doing, I don't care. I'm here for to learn about RuneScape.
Yeah. That's right. And as I said, I mean, you know, that's all well and good for people who are actually there, because there's a lot of people who
it's probably really fun if you're there.
Yeah. That's right, but not for when you're just, you know, watching it on your computer. It's like, no thanks.
Oh god.
Anyway, we'll wait and see what happens.
Yeah. Hey, David.
Hey, just want to say hi. I noticed Fern in there. Haven't talked to him forever. How are you feeling? How's health?
Yeah, it's up and down. I'm actually... Back's really bad, but the head's actually quite good this week. So good that I actually just went back and did a half hour at Lava Strike Worms again.
Nice.
So I'm sitting there fighting, and all of a sudden the pop up, you Sharby gets a soul. I'm going, yes! I've run straight down. got to Edgeville, and it's a Hobgoblin soul.
Oh!
I killed one of those at the same time.
That's pretty funny.
So but what got me, I mean, why I quit last time and just had to take that time off is because I got the soul and then got PK'd by 2 dickheads. And I even said, listen, I will give you guys, I'm typing, I will give you guys 10 million, just don't kill me. And they just kept going.
Hey, Pern.
Yep.
So, if you want to look, I sold my 120 Slayer loot tab because I finished it on Sunday for the comp cave.
Okay. Yeah.
So I started a new loot tab Monday, and there are a couple of caveats, and I listed them. But if you go under the bossing tab in the chat rooms, you could see my loot tab of bossing for one full day, kind of what it looks like. Because I know there's been a lot of like skilling v bossing, so
yeah.
I've been PVMing pretty much nonstop, aside from like a few breaks and some food since Monday at reset. So this is basically almost one full day.
Nice.
Of going as hard as I can. So,
and that's on the bossing.
Yeah, if you hit hashtag bossing.
No, I'm in there. Yeah, I'm in there.
Yeah. This is just before Monday reset. So that's about
everything there is what you got.
That's about 14 hours of PVM, except for the Muzpa spines and some of the ancient ceremonial. I already had those, but that's what a 14 hours straight PVM session results in. If you're me,
You got 62, 72, 76 keys, Triskelion keys.
no, those
14
also
hours.
those also I've had already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If you look underneath, it says like what I already had.
Oh, okay. No, that's okay. Yeah, I was hating you then.
No, I've gotten 3 Triss keys in the last 14 hours.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. Very nice.
I'm trying to find like one more topic
I
for the
want-
show today. Yeah, go ahead.
Big thing I want for 2018 is for them to turn around and say we're removing all untradeable items, as in skilling items. So, as in overloads and extremes and supreme potions, we're now going to allow you for the skillers to make those and sell them to the PVMers, because I don't think anyone would hate that much.
And then
on
Pern woke
that.
up. I 100% agree with you though. Like I want PVMers
Because
to be
most
able to throw money
PVMers
at me too.
But I know most PVMers, and they're all the same. They want that same thing. They don't want to have to sit there and make it. And they can have the caveat of you have to have 96, herb lore to be able to use a potion. I'm sure all the PVMers will be happy to get there if they can just sit there and then buy them and not have to worry about wasting hours and hours of making.
I mean, I would love to do that.
Yeah.
You see how much money I made just PVMing. Why would I want
Well,
to
that's right.
waste time doing
Exactly.
overloads?
And why can't we share in that wealth and sit there and I can say to Dave, okay, I'm going to make, you tell me how many you need. I'll sit there and make them all for you. Bang, bang, we trade. I'm happy I'm doing something I enjoy. You're happy because you can just pay me to do that and then go off and do what you want to do.
Hell yeah.
Everyone wins.
Because like we're allowing you to do what you want to do, but
Yeah.
we're doing what we want to do because it's stuff you don't want to do. Some people just don't want to do. Like that's it's the same argument for like job markets. Like there are just certain jobs that certain people don't want to do. And I'm not saying skilling jobs are undesirable. I'm just saying it takes a different type of person to want to do a skilling job. And there are people like that. Why not give them what they want and then also give the PVMers what they want? Which is more PVM generally. Looking
Yeah, every time I have to take a break to skill, it's so annoying.
Yeah.
It's so unnecessary too.
That's exactly right. And that's why, 2000.
Damn it!
I don't see.
I lost
why
you
they
there.
can't.
Could you say that again, Brian? I lost you there.
I said 2018 is, that should be the year where they turn around and say, hey,
2017 was supposed to be the year, though.
Yeah, I know, exactly. That's why I've given up on
me too.
2017. I'm looking forward to 2018. And
I gave up on
the last
2017 after menopause.
To be fair, between June and September,
Yeah,
they had
I'm
to
back
wipe
on.
what they were doing. So I don't mind that we didn't really get a lot then. It is between September and December. We need to have something decent, but what they come up with for next year is really going to see how I go in the future with the game.
We need to figure. So seasonal high scores are back, and they're looking for information about them. I can't think of I'm angry that there aren't any skilling ones, but and I don't consider dungeoneering a skilling skill, so that's kind of a semantics thing. But I don't have anything that I am can be do this. I'm angry yet I can't provide any examples. So how angry can I be? I guess.
It's sort of weird. How exciting would it be if it was competition to make the most overloads? That just sounds miserable.
Yeah. See, the problem with any sort of cumulative competition is it immediately becomes unhealthy and gameable. That's what they're trying to avoid, right? So it's how do you get a competition that doesn't require you to stay awake for 800 hours, but is also based on skill? And skilling, due to the state of skilling right now, it's not really possible. And that, I think, speaks to the larger issue of the way skilling is designed. It's designed to be skillless, yet the word skilling is in its name, and it's very ironic, and it makes my blood boil just to think about it. But whatever. We'll sort that out in the next 5 to 10 years, hopefully.
They could do most imps caught in Puro or something, maybe something like that.
It could be most diverse imp collection in like 1 minute. Like, so you have 60 seconds to collect the most like types of imps.
Or even in an hour, even if they gave it, in an hour, what you can catch in an hour or something.
Or it could just be based on personal time. You got to collect the first person to collect one of each type of impling, and then whoever gets the best personal time.
So they used to do things that were just based on cumulative.
Yeah, but they had to stop.
But then they had to stop
because people
just used it.
Yeah, because why we can't have anything nice.
You can't stop people from multi-logging.
No.
Cool.
You also can't stop people from no-lifing. Like, it's just,
exactly.
You can't. And it's the same argument that goes with the raffle, which is probably going to be one of our topics.
Oh, don't
today.
Even get me started on
So
that.
I got the Barrow set that I really wanted, so I'm happy. I wanted Arims, and I got Arims.
Awesome.
Oh,
I've wanted Arims too, although it needs a graphical update.
Yeah, it looks pretty bad, but whatever. It's so sick. So I've got the gold Arims, I've got the purple and
That's what I used to say about my old Pontiac GTP. Yeah, it looks like shit, but it's sick.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It goes real fast.
And I shadow dyed my SOS to go with it, so all purple and gold.
That's awesome. I will definitely touch upon the raffle in the opening of the show, and I'm just wondering, like, I want to talk about He Who Shall Not Be Named, but at the same time I don't, because that's exactly what he wants.
So it's a waste of that's
Yeah.
We'll just say one douchebag out there. We'll just refer to him as that.
And I'm like, I know he's never gonna listen to this podcast or anything like that. I don't want it to get back to him in any way, shape, or form, because he feeds off of that shit. And this is pre-show, right. So like almost nobody's gonna hear this. But but to
me, it's
is it ruining the raffle though? Like, is it ruining the raffle?
Is. If they were tradable items where you get somebody can sell them, then okay, good on him for that. But when they're untradeable, and by Jagex doing nothing about it, they're condoning that disruptive behaviour. And I do call it disruptive behaviour. Don't do this. If you're going to allow people to do that, just don't do the raffle at all.
I agree.
That's
because
all you're doing is pissing off your legitimate players.
That's what I want to know is, and there's no way of quantifying this without, again, glorifying this piece of shit, but I want to know how many people are legitimately put off by this, because I am, like, I certainly am.
I am, definitely, yeah.
It's just, like, I feel like I'm in an echo chamber, but Reddit seems to be, like, mixed. Like, I spent about an hour, maybe 2 hours in total over the course of a few days, reading through his official thread and reading through, like, Jagex stop this man type threads, and the comment, like, there are tons of people that defend him. And I don't understand that mentality, and I guess...
Well, they should all be banned from the game.
Are they all member accounts?
Yes, they have to be. Jagex makes money off of this, don't they?
I don't know.
No. Yeah. The raffles are free.
Oh, is it one ticket for free? I thought they made it members only to try and curb the issue, and then he was just I'll double check. Let me double check. Let me actually make 100% sure that I know what I'm talking about here.
Because if it's members only, I think it's probably fine. It's
Stand by.
If you want to pay for membership on 100 counts, you can pay for membership on 100 counts.
Balthazar's Big Raffle is members only content and not accessible to Iron Man players.
Okay.
I don't know. That's
different then.
Totally.
It does.
It for me. Yeah.
Yeah. I still hate the guy, and I wish he'd die in a grease fire. But
that's brutal.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there, kind of. If I saw this guy in real life, I would probably break his jaw. Like, I probably would.
That's what I said.
He probably would be happy about it too.
I want a competition. If he goes to RuneFest, I want a competition to the best dick punch on Firefox.
Right? Can we get together? Can we communitatively get together a couple billion gold to give to the person that just make sure this person cannot reproduce? But I mean, the fact that he's spending thousands of dollars to me just proves that he has an unchecked mental illness and needs help. If this was I created a script and made 2,000 bots, and then they all went and did that, all right, that's a problem that's on Jagex's, and it's still Jagex's problem, and I still blame them, not him. But why I say that I blame Jagex and not him, specifically, despite the fact that I would like to maim him, is because, he's dumping a lot of money into this, and for purely negative attention. He's a negative attention seeker, and that is a self-destructive habit.
But that's
Yeah.
exactly what a friend did with the $14,000 spent on a.
At the
Yeah, he
very
wanted to
least,
have that
a
thing.
friend
I mean, he
actually
spent
has
it with
that money to
YouTube money,
spend
though.
from
Yeah,
a friend is
that's-
probably a millionaire from YouTube.
Oh, that's right. And also, I mean, yeah, he was doing it. He had a true goal in mind of the fastest max to count.
Yeah, and he didn't hurt
So-
anyone doing that. If anything,
No,
he
exactly.
benefited players by giving a shit ton of money to Jagex.
Yeah, please.
Exactly.
I love treasure hunter whales. They're the best.
Yeah, I know.
Go
because
shoot
they're
up those
pumping money
high
into
scores.
the game.
I see people get 200 mil rune crafting in a day. I'm like, good job, you.
I guess
Doing
you
your
just,
part.
yeah, you're not buying a car anytime soon, I guess. Hope you didn't want a home. Anyway, I guess that's all we're really gonna say about Flare Fox, and we can actually get into the show with the two topics that I have, which will
Hats?
hopefully spawn more. What?
Rares are still skyrocketing at record paces.
How's Santa hats
Blue-
doing then?
Santa hats are around 800.
That's not bad. First of all, it was
Yeah.
given to me for free, but when it was given
Yeah.
to me, it was like 150 mil.
Yeah, around
So,
150. Yeah.
I'm never gonna sell it, but I just love the fact to know that it is not going down or anything.
Well, blues are up to 21 to 22 bill.
What?
Yeah, whites are 15 to 16 bill.
I just want a yellow.
That's ridiculous.
Yellows are around 11 bill.
It's still attainable. 22 not obtainable, but like I could still see myself
That's
obtaining
ridiculous.
11 billion
That
gold.
is 10 max cash stacks.
I had a blue Pern.
Why do they bother with a max cash stack? Just take it off if they're going to have things like
Because
that.
they're lazy programmers, remember?
Yeah, I know.
All right, enough Jagex bashing. I'm sure that I've picked two topics that I have. We have like 45 minutes to go over them.
Yeah.
We're gonna do give Skillers some love and why I play RuneScape. Okay, which conveniently is this handsome man wearing a nice gold suit. He's got a good thread here. All right, so those.
Oh, I
are
was going to say, I know that title. What was that? That was my one.
yeah,
Oh, God. That's bad when I can't even remember my own title.
right. I mean, clearly
think I
this
know
was
that.
written in
I
a
know that
haze, apparently.
Well, it was when I was in. That's when I quit basically for a week, and
Yeah.
I was in a very bad place for a little while.
Let's hear what Pern had to say a week ago. Then, all right. I'm going to quickly put some silence in here so I can figure out when the show actually starts. Dave, you gonna join us?
Yep.
We're gonna go for 45
Yeah,
minutes.
sure. I would love to. Sounds like fun.
Cool. All right, I'm gonna just deafen myself here so I can get a little bit of silence, and then we will get this going. Greetings, fellow Scapers, and welcome to another Scapeshot, your mini edition of RuneScape Weekly. We have joining us today Pyrnassius. How you doing, Pern?
I am not too bad this week, thank you. Back is actually really bad, but the brain or the mind is actually feeling quite good this time. So
Glad to have you, for sure. I'm glad you were able to come on such short notice. We also have David joining us as well. Hi, David.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going. And we have a couple topics to bring to you this morning for your listening pleasure. And the first one up, I guess we shouldn't jump immediately into the topics. I guess we can briefly talk about what's been going on. Just quick check-ins. As far as I'm concerned, I just hit 116 fire making yesterday, so almost done there. Not gonna probably finish before bonus XP weekend, but still, I'm pretty happy with where I am. And last night was the raffle. I think I put in some tickets. Pern, I think you put in some tickets. Any luck?
no, I had 14 tickets and sweet FA.
Nah, I'm not gonna reveal how many.
Although I must say, I did. It does give me some small prismatic lamps, which I have put into the skill I will be training a bit of over the double XP weekend. So
Very nice. I'm up over like 3 million bonus XP in prayer, so I'm excited about that. It's gonna make the triple XP really nice at first, and then I'm gonna be really sad when it's not triple XP anymore and ask why it's so slow, why double XP is so slow. So I'm not gonna reveal how many tickets I put in, but I did win a golden god sword. I received the Zamorak
did?
sword. Yep.
oh, congratulations!
One. I got one sword, which is that's all I wanted. Like, I mean,
Still, yeah.
I will put in for I'll probably raffle again for another one if I can. But I'm happy that I received one. I don't have any of them. I was just trying to get a piece. Like, I have some War Priest. Actually, I don't have any War Priest. I don't think. I might have lied about that.
You got the Barrows.
Yeah, I have 2 sets of Barrows. I don't care about the War Priest that much, but I really wanted one of the I wanted some armor, and I wanted a weapon, and then bam, you can kind of just a little bit of gold everywhere. So that's all I really wanted. I'm pretty much happy now as far as the raffle's concerned, but, I'll never be completely happy because the raffle is basically a freaking... It's rigged! That's all I'm going to say about that. But anyway...
Yeah. It is disappointing what is happening there, but anyway, I mean, I got the 2 golden barrows last year, and I want which I use one as, I got one when they gave us those free keys, keepsake keys. I put one onto there, so I would love to have a golden god sword to go along with it.
Would be nice, right?
Yes,
I guess I know.
Yeah, myself on Saturday, I was. Just capping up at our Citadel. It's been when we used to do the Thursdays, we never had an issue with capping, but since it got
everyone quit.
Yeah, but so I go in there on Saturdays now just to see what's left.
Yes,
and, thanks to the guys who did help us there.
I've been pretty much doing fire making now that it's now that I'm doing, I'll always use the Citadel as long as I'm training a skill that supports it, or we're in dire need of help. Those are the 2 scenarios.
Well, I just jumped in there, but I actually got the cooking pet at the clan. So we had no rats at all. So I'm sitting there just doing that, and then I'm seeing all these congratulations because I'm just AFKing watching TV. I'm looking down and going, "What's everyone congratulating me for?" And I've looked, and I'm getting all these grats. I'm going, "What's going on? What's going on?" I didn't even realize. And then I thought, I must have hit a cooking milestone or something. And then it took me a good 30 seconds to realize that Ramsey was in my inventory.
That's awesome.
And then I went off and because I'm still chasing the Malcolm pet. I hit 200 mil invention a couple of weeks ago as well. I'm just still no pet. So I've got a few fishing rods left. So one of my AFK things is just sit there and just fish and try and break those down. And lo and behold, I get the fishing pet.
Well, nice.
That's on the same day, so yes.
I want the. I think is it 7 skill pets that triggers Jack of all trades? Is that
5? Jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades.
I've got 9. Yeah, Jack of all trades. I've got 9 pets, and I don't have Jack of all trades.
Okay, I guess you just have to have them all.
That's for all of them.
Okay,
that's all of them.
How many?
So Jack of trades is 5.
Okay, so I have Jack of trades. I was like, I have 6 pets now. I think 6 skilling pets to be more specific. And I thought, I was like, does it trigger on 7 or does it trigger on all of them? So it triggers on all of them. Fair enough. Anyway, we got a topic here to get into. This one's by Thieves. It says, could skillers get some love and have their own collection log? Just to avoid further confusion, the term skiller isn't referring to a pure level 3 account, but skilling content in general. Pretty simple concept that would make for some interesting titles for those who aren't as PvM focused as others. Just some random examples from the top of my mind include Master Chef. Sorry about the motorcycle going by. Master Chef, player is required to have cooked or created everything cookable in the game, including ales, mature ales, and dungeoneering foods. I love the idea of stuff like that, like basically like Pokédexes for like creatable items, like. I say this a lot in like single player RPG style games, like you get into like Stardew Valley and it's like there's tons of recipes, but one of the goals is unlocking all the recipes. Like I love those little completionist items, so got a big thumbs up for me so far. Architect. Player is required to have built every piece of furniture, place all dungeon monsters, and build all types of glyph statues. This is great. This would be great, like for the RuneScore system, which is I'm assuming what they're gearing this towards. Yeah, because right now it's like 99% PVM related, isn't it?
Yep.
I mean, that might be a little bit of a hyperbole, but still, go ahead.
No, well, that's Thieves and I were talking about this because he is, he's a guest in our plan a lot, and he's on a friends chat that I'm in. We discuss a lot of this type of stuff, and we're throwing ideas backwards and forwards. And that's right. The majority of the new achievement system was, 90% oriented towards PVM stuff. Kill a giant mole 10 times and get the mole, the mole basher 1, and kill it 20 times and get mole basher 2, and 50 times get mole basher 5. I mean, it's the same title, just with the Roman numeral at the end of it. And it's like, can't they?
The more Roman nobles, the better.
I will say, I mean, it's like all comp, trim, and master quests are all on there, and most of that content is not PVM related. So
No, but the new stuff that they brought in though, other than the 5
other
miscellaneous
than
stuff,
the existing stuff.
yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Silver Slayer Master, kill every type of assignable monster plus completion of Morven's challenge. Thief, player is required to steal every possible item in the thieving skill, including all brawlers, squirks, and plunderables. This includes the Ibis and the Scepter of the Gods. Definitely. I love all this. So this is my... Now, keep in mind, these are not necessarily completionist requirements. They're just adding to your rune score. Just, some of these sound like, if you're not like quite paying attention, these all sound like kind of hard to achieve things. Like all the squirks, all the plunderables from Pyramid Plunder. That could take forever. But that's okay, because it's just adding to your score. I just want to kind of clarify there.
Yes.
For Master Farmer.
Sorry, I was just saying, nothing that we discussed was ever, we don't want to see any of it on any cape requirement, whether it be trim completionist, normal completionist, Master Quest cape. It is nothing to do with that at all. It is all purely just for the enjoyment of, just getting that little title locked away and having something to aim for other than completionist.
I dream of a world where comp cape is nowhere even close to how you measure an account. It's like, oh cool, you have a comp cape? Yeah, but what's your rune score? It's like, the comp cape's all nice and pretty, but there's millions of other achievements, hyperbole obviously being used there, but there's tons of other things you could do above and beyond that are completely unrelated. They just have to do with, different aspects of the game, but they're not necessarily tied to content, unlocking content, or ease of access in the game. It's just a way to show that your character has gone above and beyond, and maybe that score can be used in some way in the future for other content. I don't know if we ever get to that point. It seems like I don't think that despite how mature our player base is, I don't think we are mature enough to gate content behind systems like that anytime soon, especially with the influx of new players we're probably going to see in 2018 via mobile. The last thing you want to do is put crazy unobtainable things in the game, right? So I think you got the right idea there, Pern. Master Farmer, player is required to have successfully grown all types of seed into their harvestable product, including dungeoneering seeds. I like it. I don't like dungeoneering, but I like the idea.
I mean, all these sound really, really good and very implementable. I don't see a reason not to do it. Yeah,
this just sounds like something that like a JMUD could easily pick up and toss on either like the Ninja backlog, or put it on the TAP project list of these things. Don't seem too hard to do is what I'm saying. There's no new assets need to be created for any of this. It's just along the lines of creating the code that allows the triggers to happen for the events to be checked off and the score to be added. So this doesn't seem like hard content to add a lot of playability to the game. Go ahead. Did you have to say
Sorry
something?
Sorry about that. What is your rune score, Mage and Pern? I'm wondering how are y'all faring?
My rune score.
Metric?
Where do I find it again?
If
you just click on the
achievements. Yep, there it is. I got it. 13665 for me.
Really? Wow.
Yep.
See, I almost have the exact same rune score as Pern, and I'm comp. So I'm wondering what Pern. I wonder what you have that I don't.
Master Quest.
Well, I've got I do the I've got my Master Quest cape. I do every single task. I've got the Task Master title. See, I like those type of things.
Gotcha.
The combat I've only got 112 out of 348. But see, I am almost completionist too. The only things I have left for the comp are basically the 4 bosses that I haven't done.
Oh, really? That's all?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And unlocking the music for them, so yeah.
Gotcha. That makes a lot of sense then, because we have about the same rune score. Mine is like 13,800 as well.
Yeah, and that's what I love about I'm not a big. The scores don't bother me overly much, and things like the sort of the seasonal high scores events, I don't care about those. But the thing is, for people who don't want to just go out there and PVM all the time, it is good when you have other achievements out there to help boost things up. And it's never ending what they could do in this game with this new achievement system to keep both sides happy. And as long as you're not going to lock it against the completionist cape or the quest cape or anything like that, and that's what I want to reiterate here is none of these things should ever be tied to those capes. They are just fun incidentals to give you a goal. When you jump on and you're bored, what am I going to do? Hey, let's open up the achievements thing and let's just knock off one or two of those and see what's fun there that I can do.
RuneScore, in my opinion, should be bragging rights. Like, your RuneScore should just be bragging rights. It's you got the comp, you got Master Quest cape, you got trimmed comp, but like you can still go above and beyond those things, or you could take a completely different path with RuneScore if you want, and just show, that's my hope for RuneScore is an account that isn't geared towards doing X, Y, or Z. Could just tick off these little achievements here or there, and and still prove that their account has value, has worth, has you can quantify the things that you've done. So yeah, heck yeah.
And that's one thing I am really sorry. Go, David.
Oh, I was just saying, I had some fun watching Omid. I don't know how many people know him, but he's one of the quote-unquote true trim people, where you get, like, everything on the trim cape, everything on Master Quest, and then every other thing that's not on those
Yeah,
things.
There's, like, an official list somewhere of, like, true trim.
Exactly. And so he was going for all those achievements on stream, and it was kind of fun to watch Omid, like, fight, jellies, and, these, like, low-level Slayer creatures with, like, a Staphylus skin. It was just, like, amusing, entertaining. I think he now has 100% completion of every single achievement.
That's awesome.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah,
that's a lot of
stuff. That should be held up somewhere. Those are important achievements, and I think RuneScore should cover that. So hopefully we can get into that arena eventually. Obviously, it's in its infancy still. It was just created, and holy crap, was it released unfinished, and now it's in a state where it's nice. So now we can actually work with it. So I look forward to seeing new pieces of content, having RuneScore content also attached to it.
So the one defense for them though about the being PVM oriented is it kind of is just super easy. It's like, oh, this boss drops these 7 items, we're going to make that an achievement. You kill this boss a certain number of times. It seems like that's very simple.
I have no problem with them putting the easy stuff in, but I don't.
I'm guessing that I think it just lends itself to an easy update. I don't think it's necessarily part of the greater anti-skilling conspiracy. Although, there's lots of updates that definitely are. I think this one in particular is just like, hey,
I think they just needed to get it out.
Yeah, exactly. So
they wanted,
and I'm hoping
people have been desperate for content for the last few months, so they had to do it.
Yeah, they're playing,
and that's what I'm hoping that they are the easy ones to implement. So that's why they've thrown those in, but they do have plans in the future for more, and that's why we're.
I hope so.
Steve and I got together and threw some of these ideas out, and and yes, it is the easy way, but we pay them to develop a good game that is all round for everyone. So, it's.
So do it, Jagex.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's like, okay, if this is what you want to do and do it that way, that's fine. But make sure that it is that you don't, like with everything else. Okay, we've got that in. It's like the kid with ADD. They get so bang, bang, bang. It's all done. Yep, we'll get back to that, and they run off to something else and then forget about that thing again. So we'll wait and see.
And these ideas are partially yours, Pern, right?
We were discussing these are thieves, but we were discussing in the friends chat, and one of the next ones coming up, Olympian. There's a few things I threw in there. One of the Master Farmer one, I had one idea I had was the herbalist, where you had to grow or had to successfully harvest at least 85 herbs of each type of herb in a run. So it'll take you a while, but you've got to go from Guam to Torstal and get at least 85 in one run. So
I would love a mixologist achievement that it was mixing every potion, one of every potion.
Yeah,
these sound fantastic. And these are, and let's be clear, I'm currently working on the next achievement, and I'm about 7 or 8. I have 7 or 8 of the items out of 18. It's it may sound like a lot to farm every type of herb or whatever, but it's not as much as getting all 18 next items. So it's
exactly.
These things are way too long or something.
And the thing is, it's not that it's it's not that it's locking any content. All it is just there to unlock a cosmetic title and just have a bit of fun and give yourself a goal to aim for.
Speaking of, so Olympian
player
is required to have ran every course in full agile with level 4 wilderness sword and agility cape, and have used every shortcut in this ensemble.
This is awesome.
Yeah, I love stuff like that.
I would do all of these.
Yep.
Blacksmith, Player is required to have forged every type of bar and made every type of weapon and armor possible from scratch, including dungeoneering armors and weapons. Big thumbs up for me right there.
That'll take a long time. DG will make it take forever.
Yeah.
Well, not forever, but you know.
Longer,
what I mean?
yeah.
Definitely
a little bit of RNG there.
Another one that which he didn't put down here, which I said is that includes the what are they called? The dragon shards that you have to forge in the dragon fire as well.
That's
included. Yes, that's the one. Yeah.
Nice. And finally, Tree Mugger. Gather a full inventory of each type of log, geodes for crystal tree. Oh my god, that would take forever. Full inventory of crystal geodes. Like that's the top tier challenge right there. I've gone like 8 hours and not gotten a full inventory of geodes before, I think. Wearing full lumberjack gear, which I don't even have. Like this challenge seems like a nightmare to me, but bring it on, I suppose. This includes golden bamboo and engineering trees. Yes.
Does this mean in one sitting though? This is the only one so far that I'm like on, because it just requires you to do the same thing. Because like all these other ones, you could like do some, take a break, do some, take a break. The geodes one is like you have to woodcut for 14 hours straight.
Or do you just need to get 28 geodes? Like that's a good question.
If it's just 28 geodes, that's fine. But like,
but
a full inventory is a little rough.
Well, not if you use the tree shaking scrimshaw, you'll get a full inventory in around an hour and a half.
Oh, okay. I had no idea. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
No, I accidentally made one of those, and so I used it, and it was like an hour and a half. I had the I had every geode, or had a full geode.
Fair enough. And
that seems fine then.
I remember going for 120 and just I feel probably getting like a full inventory with no boosts, but you know, like the aura that you use for woodcutting and whatnot. But and it would take hours. So apparently that scrimshaw is pretty dang useful if what you're looking for is geodes. Anyway,
I have lost my Master Quest cape, and I don't know why.
Magister journals, if you didn't have them already.
No, got them. Yep.
There were 2 new books added.
No, actually, I'm just looking. I need to gain access to the secret treasure rooms in Crocodile's Cheers and Our Man in the North. So obviously, I just have to go and visit those because I've done all that. So that's okay.
That sounds like 60 seconds of work.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Isn't that just typical of those Master Quest papers? 60 seconds of work.
Yeah, and that was one of the things, and that was where a lot of these titles come up from, because when they added all those new bossing titles last week, which are fantastic, and I love the idea of it with the boss loggers and all that. But it's like, but we're going to throw something out to the skillers. Yeah, go to the Edamu Cave and get a book which takes 7 seconds to do on content that's 3 years old. Yeah, wow, thank you very much. You know,
it's way more fun than just like, as someone who's been casually going for IFB since I got Vitalis. Now it's like it's fun again because I get to go these. It's like mini achievements on the way to the past.
Yes.
And
I do like them, but anyway, let's
keep going along here. So our next topic that we have here is by our very own Pyrnassius, entitled "Why I Play RuneScape," and it says here. Say again.
Oh no, I was saying I know I've got to stop talking because Mage has a hard stop time, and I must have dropped out.
Fair enough. You're okay. We got only another half an hour here, so.
But you know how I talk.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get to hear what you have to say, and then you can talk about it. It says, I started this game back in 2011 when I was having some mental health issues. RuneScape was the perfect escape for me, where I could just lose myself in the game and forget about everything else for a little while. Over the years, I set many goals for myself and achieved a lot of them. One of the great attractions is the new content continuously adding, allowing me to keep pushing my goals along. Collecting souls and creating my own Slayer dungeon was an absolute delight for me, and an update that I would have given Best of the Year. I am nearing the end of the Slayer Codex, and have only 3 souls left to collect, one of them being the Lava Strikeworm. I've spent hours out there hunting it, but constantly get PK'd by players who just want to ruin another person's enjoyment. The gear I'm wearing is just being Dragonhide, and my bow is saved when I die, so there is nothing for them to gain other than some sort of perverse enjoyment in wrecking the game for another player. Now, I know what everyone is saying, and that is, well, you're in the wildy, you have to expect to be killed. I understand that. However, when someone has a goal that is 99% completed normally, but is forced into this area that they would never enter, there is the issue. For those of us who struggle with mental health on a daily basis and use this game as part of our coping mechanism, this is highly stressful and can cause real anguish. To all the PKers out there, I just want you to sit back and think when you take your knock staff out to someone who is defenseless against you, wearing low-level gear, having no chance at all. What are you really gaining, and what is it really costing that player? Mental health is a real issue in modern society, and Jagex forcing those who suffer into these situations is not conducive to helping sufferers of this. Content should be not inaccessible to players of this, and forcing them into the wilderness does just that. I feel ya. Freaking farm runs scare the shit out of me now. In this day and age of the game, after many failed attempts to revive PvP in the wilderness, is it time for player killing to be removed? Most who are out there are either scamming players or just trolling them. It adds very little to the game in its current format. Thank you for taking the time to read this. I'm sure I will be back soon, as I do love this game, but the stress for now is forcing me to take a break for a little while. And I think this is a real problem of the wilderness, is PKing is not a sport anymore as much as it is like a sadistic individual's, like, jollies, I suppose. Like, that's just... PKing in of itself is kind of dead, and it's not used in any way that it was ever intended. I think it's used more for bug abuse and griefing than it is for actual sport and fun. I think that's definitely an argument that can be made. Thoughts?
And yeah, I mean, I was in a very bad place when I did write this, because I'd actually got the soul drop and then got killed as soon as I got it. 2 guys jumped me, so and I have killed over 1,300 lava strike worms chasing it. So you sort of get the drop and then get killed as soon as it comes in was not good fun. Everything else that you can do in game, you can go out and train agility in the wilderness. And get the best XP if you want to, but there are always other areas to get these things. In just about everything, you can go to a different area to get it in a safer way, albeit a slower way.
Yeah, make it take 10 times as long, but at least give them the option.
Chuck a few of them in Kuradell's dungeon. Don't let them drop the unique weapons drop of the heart and that type of stuff if you want, but allow it to. You can get your soul in there or something like that. Just something that, and I am a little OCD in that once I set a goal, I want to complete it, and even now, not having that one soul really causes me a lot of anxiety. And I mean, it sounds stupid. It's a game, I know, but it does. When I look at that Slayer Codex and I've got 144 of 146 souls, it really does my head in. It just it's just one of those things.
So how about a response from some of the people here? We have one from Anastasia here who says, "I'm the lowest of the low because I'm a PKer. I just want to play as I enjoy it. This is what I hear every day. I never say anything back. Guess I'm gonna find another game where I can fight people without being called a whore and scum. Bye." So what do you say to a response like that? Just boiling anger and silence? I think we're having some audio problems. Pern, can you hear me? David, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I will read the response to Valthus's first, and we'll see if Pern is back or not, or if he heard that post. But I think Valthus has a decent response here to that. Who says, "People who hurt others for their own selfish enjoyment, regardless of torment it causes both financially and emotionally on their victims, deserve no sympathy. That's what PKers are. Harassers who would rather beat down innocent bystanders just trying to do PvE content, quest, collect energy, or do Slayer. They steal from those who worked hard rather than do them themselves." I don't necessarily agree with that last part there. They don't really steal anything physically except the joy of the game. I mean, I guess if you want to turn it into a meta thing where they're stealing joy from the person, fine. I can kind of agree with that. Can you hear us now, Pern? Testing? Nothing? Can't reset Discord, my friend.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about this. It's weird. I agree with Pern that some compromise would be nice. Maybe Curadel can have them in her dungeon. You don't get any of the good loot, and it's a higher drop rate or something. I think definitely if you capture a soul, it should just be kept on death, even if you die in the wilderness. That seems at least reasonable. It's not an item of value, right? So
it's just in general, if
that seems fine.
Yeah, from a broad perspective, I like the idea of, instead of dropping items in the wilderness, you have a cash value assigned to you. You have to have that amount of money available in your pouch, and it just gets taken from you. I think we need to be beyond the days where people lose their items and whatnot. There are other ways to sink items out of the game.
One thing that I mean, have that idea, but I mean, for those PvP, I'm not saying at the time I was saying just get rid of PvP altogether, but I mean, you've got those PvP worlds now, and what's wrong with, how they've got those, the new bandits where you're running there unskulled and they all attack you, and they destroy. Why not have roving bands of those going through the wilderness, and, then, yes, you do lose your cash stacks or whatever like that, but it's just...
I'm also fine with just relegating PvP to, 2 servers and saying, fuck the rest of them. Those are just, we go back to the old, you go back to the old, not old wilderness style, but that weird wilderness style with the revenants or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Have something like that, but it does get very, very frustrating, and the fact that sort of most other content, there is a safe version as well as the. They took the clue scrolls out of the wilderness, so there's no clue scrolls in the wilderness anymore.
Good.
But we still have to do this type of thing, and it's just
So go ahead, Dave. Did you have something you want to say, Dave?
Yeah. Well, I would just say my experience with Strike Worms is a little different. Obviously, I have a different play style than both of you, so I've got a few sets of Acto that I could use anytime. So when I go to Strike Worms, I bring full Acto, Seismics, Super Cerebrus, Rocktail Soups, and a full yak of soups, and so. Every time someone has tried to PK me, I have killed them very quickly. Except one person who's actually pretty good PKer, and we had a 30-minute battle basically where we just kept rebanking for supplies and then going back to Lava Strike Worms, and it was good fun. I think it was almost an hour we were going at it, and I think he finally killed me, but it was definitely hard fought at that point. But I've pretty much killed every PKer who's tried to kill me just because I go in and max PvP gear. Because if I lose it, I don't really care.
Yeah,
that's right. If I lose that type of stuff, it is going to destroy me.
It must be nice to show up to a tank in a knife fight.
yeah. I had someone show up with just a Nox bow and the tier 65 power armor or whatever. They didn't know what they're doing because PvP is all about tanking, because with EOC, obviously, abilities do tremendous amounts of damage. And so I was in full Acto, and I just used Reflect.
Yeah,
and,
if you're good on if you're good with abilities, you're gonna have plenty of defensives at your disposal in that type of setup. And I don't even know how to use combat, and I know that. But Pyrna, go ahead.
Yeah. And having full Acto just means I invest in slot PvP gear, and since I have 2 sets, if I lose it, I lose it, so whatever.
Yeah, fair enough.
But obviously that's totally different thing. So I welcome the PKers because I don't think...
Yeah, that shows me that there's still somewhat of an audience, and including the last post that I read there, where we lost Pern. I don't know if you could hear me, Pern. But
no, I just lost everything.
I was saying, Anastasia replied to your thread, and
that was the last. That's where you dropped out.
Yeah, I just wanted to get your response to that, and what do you say to people who claim to legitimately just PK because that's what they enjoy doing?
But I mean, and I say that down further with another post I said, PvP and PKing are 2 different formats. PvP is a fair fight where 2 players agree to fight to the death, and the winner gets the spoils. PKing is simply trolling, as trollers who go out of their way to destroy another player's enjoyment. Much like the senior student bully at school going up to the middle school kid and beating him up for his lunch money. PKing is like Mike Tyson seeing a young dad buying an ice cream for his son and deciding he wants it, so he punches him in the face and takes it for himself.
I agree. I mean, that's...
and that's... to me, I don't see any challenge in you running out there, and the guy comes out with me. He's got a Nox staff. I don't know what else he had. I'm sitting there in black d'hide and a crystal bow, and and he sits there and attacks me, and as I was typing there, please don't kill. I'll pay 10 mil. Got soul, and they just kept laughing and just killed me, the both of them. So, it just.
Yeah, I mean, that's the situation really, where it goes from like PKing, in my opinion. Like, it used to be a real thing. You'd go into the wilderness, and other people would be roaming around looking for a fight too, and it would just, that's what it was just people looking for fights. When you start putting tons of
to be fair, it was also like hopping on the 2 rune ore that were out there to try to find a skiller to 2-hit. So
definitely,
it hasn't always been this like glorious.
I would show up at the rune rocks, pretending to mine them with like 70 mining. Back in RuneScape Classic, you could make it look like you were mining something you couldn't actually mine. Same thing with smithing. That was a scam in RuneScape Classic. You could put a rune bar to a furnace, and it would put the little rune bar symbol over your head. People would think you could smith a rune. People didn't really look up high scores back then very often, and they would just give you rune bars, be like, make me a 2-hander, and then you just walk off with the rune bars and be like, lol. Like, people were bad back then too, yes, but I mean, speak back, I would pretend to mine rune ore just to get into fights with people so they'd think I had rune ore, and then I would kill them. But
I think that is the tradition of the wilderness. I don't think the tradition of the wilderness is like hardcore PvP in the way that
it's always been kind of backhanded and sneaky. Like, you're right, because I'd go in there wearing like mithril, right, and then I get attacked, and you'd switch over to rune, your full rune and your rune 2-hander, and then they'd be like, oh shit, and run off in the other direction. But
and the YouTuber Torvesta, he does old school. He's got an entire series that's like pretending to be touching skill, black Chinchampas, but they didn't know I had dragon claws or something like that, and he'll just like declaw spec skillers out of nowhere.
I feel like the older I get, the less okay I become with making other people miserable. The more I understand emotion, psychology, the way the world works, the less inclined I am to engage in activities like PvP. The last time I enjoyed PvP, I was like 12.
Yeah, and to be clear, I'm not disagreeing with any of that part. I'm just saying let's not pretend like the wilderness was ever some noble bastion.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Is like the last time I thought the wilderness was fun, I was 12. So yes, I agree with you. It's definitely a place that is kind of scummy. Like that's like and
I understand that if I'm going out there, but you also if I've got single way combat switched on and I'm actually fighting a lava strike worm, why are they still able to attack me?
If you're in single way combat,
annoying too, it's like, but they can sit there and attack me, and it just, it was just a very, very bad feeling I had at the time, and
fair.
Yeah, I just feel that in this day and age, that type of thing. I mean, there's other games out there. I don't think RuneScape, in its current format, is really necessary to have that type of gameplay on all worlds now. Certainly, have it there, have a few worlds for them, for those who still enjoy it. But it just, I don't know. And as I said, and I still stick by what I say about its bullying behaviour. It's like the big kid going up to the little kid, punching him in the face for his lunch money. I mean, people reckon I was taking it too far there, but that is exactly how I feel, and I still feel that way.
Well, how about revolutionary idea? Put it on the Thaler store. AFK Castle Wars.
I would actually, if I could just buy that, and I'm one who just loves to complete things, but if they turn around and said, $50 and you can buy one soul that you want, I would actually probably spend that and buy that soul.
And that would be the day.
Never have to go there again.
That's not good. Just put it on
but that's how I feel. Yeah,
I understand.
But that's how I feel because
I get that, and it's a totally justified feeling. But sometimes we feel much worse than things are.
Yes,
and as long as we can recognize that, then that's fair.
And that's why I took my break.
Exactly. That's exactly I can totally understand needing to take a little bit of some time because it does feel like the end of the world or like yada yada yada. Like it's just it gets to this point where it eats at you so much that you don't even want to look at the game for a period of time, and that's not good game design. And if you're trying to appeal to a broad audience, is you don't want your players who are trying to do PvE content getting turned off because there's been, you got PvP in my PvE, well you got PvE in my PvP. You know, it's like nobody wants that shit. So just keep them separate. They're clearly two very different play styles. And I hate to cater specifically to the majority and say PvP can just go, you know, kick rocks, but there are so few people that even care about PvP today that I don't even know if it's worth Jagex's development. It's one of the few things that I'm not sure if it's even worth Jagex's development time, and I hate saying that because I don't like to exclude any parts of the community, I guess. But if there's ever a part of the community that is probably a little more toxic than beneficial, it's probably the PKing community, if I had to guess. But again, it's just a guess based on my own personal experiences.
So it takes a lot of courage to make a post like that. And I definitely not be able to open myself up to the public.
Yeah, well,
like
that's
that and
as I said, I was in a very bad place. I just needed to get it out there. We actually have a over here in Australia. There's actually a helpline for for people with depression and such, but it's just been busted. The so-called anonymous helpline has been ringing police on people, and a couple of people have been dragged away in cuffs and put into involuntary 48-hour mental health care watches things. So it's it was like I wanted to ring them and talk, and I thought I can't trust that, so I just jumped on here and just let it all out and just got it out of the systems.
That's kind of frightening and sad that when the help that is there scummy. Feels like it's not even there, like you can't trust it. That's a huge problem, and that makes me sad to hear. And but on the flip side, what makes me happy is how positive that this thread actually turned out to be overall. Like I would say, like 80% of this is mostly people being fairly supportive. Yeah. The people are trying to not. What I'm saying, generally, what I expect is when you post something like this is to be like, "Oh, go fuck off, you piece of shit! I'll kill you as much as I want." But that didn't really happen to any majority, which is nice. Yeah. That's nice to see.
There are a few idiots, but I mean,
of course, isn't that life?
Well, that's it, and I don't care about that. I mean, I skim over those things, but I think it was. And reading that. Reading the positive output there, it did help me a lot and get back a bit sooner. So,
I think the community is divided on some things, but they're pretty much together on PKers are obnoxious.
Yeah, it does seem like when you pick on PKers, you're gonna garner more support than resistance, I suppose. So I'm glad to see that. At the very least, people were kind of receptive to what you were saying. I don't think it's going to change anything in the long run as far as, like,
of course not, no.
The wilderness is always going to suck unless Jagex has some sort of revelation that they need to remove it, but I don't see that happening anytime soon, especially after it kind of got, like, a faux, fake bullshit revival that didn't really work, but it got me in the wilderness, I guess.
Which is funny. I had a look the other day. There was 3 people on the RS3 PvP server. 3 people.
There was a funny thread on Reddit the other day where it was just like, post your rants about whatever, and I was just like, oh, you have to use all caps, it has to be ridiculous. And I was just like, Jagex, I'm so sick and tired of being PK'd on farm runs. 2 attempted PKs in a year is unacceptable danger. Like, I've literally been attacked twice since the wilderness revival, and both times I have escaped. And I was teasing about how dangerous the wilderness it really isn't, but on the flip side, it is, depending on what you're doing, I suppose.
That's it. And I mean, I can sort of, you understand them sort of targeting people, at that area, because there is money that can be made if people are collecting ashes. And I actually went back there for the first time today.
Oh my!
Yeah, I thought, no, it was early. I thought I'm just going to go there and try it. I didn't take the Wilderness Sword this time, so I wouldn't get if I was getting ashes, because they get noted when you have the Wildy Sword. So as my legendary pet's picking up the ashes, I'm just scattering them. So there's just no reason for them to get me. If they get me, well, they're going to get a black dehyde legs. And
you know, you just got. I know it literally means nothing to anyone, but like I would have that prayer on that causes like AOE damage when you die, just on at all times, just to be like, leave me alone.
Does that kill them outright too? If they
vengeance,
whatever it is, the
spell.
I mean,
yeah,
it's based on how much damage they do to you in that one hit.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's similar to like Reflect, and I can't 100% say for sure. Maybe David can weigh in a little bit on that. But
well, the prayer just does a pretty much fixed amount of small damage. Vengeance, what you're talking about, has to be manually cast.
Yes.
Right before a hit, and then it deals 75% of whatever
they hit. Okay.
Target hit.
Oh, okay.
But you can cast it on someone, and as long as they stay logged in, doesn't it stay on them, or is there a timer that it runs out, or?
Well, I mean, there's no timer, so yeah, they would get it. But if you were attacked by, say, like,
a monster,
you don't cast it on a person, you cast it on yourself.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, I know how to use it.
So if you were attacked by like a lava strike worm, then it would just use vengeance on the.
Gotcha. So it's not effective to just keep on you. It's not something that just you'd have to cast it like as you were being attacked, basically.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that's fine. And that's another thing. And what I'd like to see is, I mean, they've got that teleblock spell. Why can't we have a block on the teleblock spell, or make a one-off item in Invention that if they use teleblock,
what we really need
a
here,
reflective mirror.
All right, I'm Jagex. I got you, Pern. I know exactly what you're asking for. You're asking for super teleport tabs. They'll be on the treasure hunter in like a week. We got you, buddy.
I'd buy it. That's the one thing I'd buy. No, but I mean, just say you could have like an augmented mirror, so that if someone casts teleblock on you, it reflects it back. The mirror breaks.
That would be great. Yeah, like a little. I like that idea. Those are great ideas for invention trinkets. One-time use things that save your ass, but they're really high level. Holy hell! Why can't we get shit like that?
Or maybe like a teleport tab to make it a little more balanced. Same thing, except anything you collected while in the wilderness you lose.
That's not bad. Like it's literally like an emergency eject button, basically.
You drop what's in your inventory. That's fine.
Yeah.
Except
you'd still lose the soul, though, Pern.
That's what I said. Except the Hoosiers party.
Non-tradables. Anything non-tradable, I think should keep with you. But anything that can actually drop for the PKer, that gets destroyed. Nobody gets that. But anything that's non-tradable that they wouldn't have gotten anyway, you should keep in your inventory. And things like that, why the hell are they just not keep on death? Like, that's just silly in the first place.
Yeah, I lost a pet a couple days ago. The Crestbot pet. I
one of the few pets that are still item-based from monsters.
And I couldn't inspect it because I was still in combat or something. I tried to. And I froze right as it was doing the spec. You know the special I'm talking about, where it like makes that earthquake.
Yes.
Yeah. So I froze right as that was happening, and I'm in Death's office. And I'm like, oh, where's my pet? I'm done. But imagine if that happened to my Vitalis or something. Like that'd be horrible.
That's what people complain about. That's why they were buying that insurance, pet insurance.
Oh yeah, that's true. But I mean, you can't do that for right after that.
No, that's right. You have to, and that's it. I mean, pets should just go now all straight into that tab. On a brighter note, I did my aquarium yesterday, and I pulled an uncut onyx out of one of the.
That's freaking awesome! I've never done that.
No, in all the time I've had it, that's the first time I've ever done it too. But yeah.
I mean, I used to do my aquarium religiously. I stopped because you can't go in with your pet, and I generally I don't want to send the avatar home.
Like that.
Yeah,
they gotta fix stuff like that. Like you can't do statues with a pet. Like this is nonsense. I don't know. It can't be that spaghettied.
Yeah, can it not though?
I don't know. That's kind of silly to me. They gotta work on that. That's what the ninja team should be doing. I don't know.
Anyway, just want to we've hit our 9 o'clock hard stop. Any final thoughts anyone wants to get in? Feel free to get them in right now.
I just want to say I got the golden Barrows outfit that I wanted. I got Aaron's a couple days ago, so I'm pretty happy with that. I did manage to finish my comp cape, and I have been bossing since reset yesterday, and I've made about 350 mil so far. So PvP or PvM still likely better GP per hour than skilling.
Thanks for that breaking news update.
I also just want to point out that on the front page of the official RuneScape website, quick poll results. What's the first thing you plan on doing on RS Mobile? Coming in at a whopping number 1, 77%.
You know why?
Is, have a guess.
I don't even
Skilling.
need to guess. You know why? Because they left out the option uninstall TeamViewer. Because that's what everyone already uses for mobile anyway to skill.
Yeah. What's the price? I mean, bossing, obviously it's 6%.
Anyone, listen, that's 6% of people, like, good luck.
I mean, I voted for skilling too. I'm not going to do Virago on a mobile phone.
I actually thought trading in that would have been higher, though.
Yeah, right.
A lot of people would have been using their banks.
Bank
go on there, I can do
like
my
that.
bank and all that type of stuff. So, yeah. I was shocked that was at the lowest at 3%.
Yeah, that is crazy. But for sure, that's exactly why I want RS Mobile. It's just like there are eventually I'm too tired to sit up, but I still want to like skill for another like half an hour, and it would be great. I've like trained my arm to basically like just sit up with my phone, so like I can kind of fall asleep and my arm won't really move, and I'll just fall asleep and then drop my phone. And that's fine. And as long as I'm still skilling, that's all that truly matters, right? So I think I need some help.
What I'd also...
Yeah.
Are you around on Thursday?
I hope so.
What I'd like to do, if you are around, they're doing the Unfinished Business for September live stream tonight.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
4 o'clock game time. So if you are around and everyone wants it, we might try and jump on Thursday, because I know Fridays are out for you now.
Yeah, I'll be open probably Thursday morning. I'm busy in the afternoon, but yeah,
Thursday morning for you, Thursday night for me.
Yeah, I should be available if you want to try to do another little Scapeshot and talk about it. Yeah. Also, keep in mind, Double XP Weekend starts on Friday, right? If I'm not mistaken, the 15th.
Friday. Yep.
So we will be doing a mega show at some point in time that weekend. I haven't really picked the date or time yet, but we are going to run and do like a long skill and chill where we just skill and chill with Double XP.
Friday an hour ago it would have been.
There you go. So that's a thing that we plan on doing. And as well, the following week, we got RuneFest coming up on the 23rd of September. That's a Saturday. We're going to be rebroadcasting select portions of RuneFest and using our own commentary over them in the parts in between when Shawnee, and then the announcers jump on to do their commentary. We'll cut in and do our own commentary. So if you want different commentary, I'm not going to say it's better commentary, I'm not going to say it's worse commentary, it's going to be different commentary, probably a little more realistic commentary. So if you want to get something a little more down to earth and less pie in the sky, maybe with some more accurate predictions than what they're able to produce, tune in to us. We'll be live on YouTube and Twitch for RuneFest on the 23rd. We're going to be covering most of the main stage events that cover RuneScape 3, so we'll be cutting between the two stages, depending on what's on each stage. So it should be fun, so feel free to join us, and that will be the 23rd of September, and we'll be cutting, we're going to go live basically, I think like a couple hours into it once the main stage is kind of kicked off. We might do a little of our own pre-show before that, but the goal is to kind of start with the RuneScape reveals, I think, unless there's anything. I have to look at the schedule, but I want to make sure that we don't skip the skilling discussion, and let's see here. So, Varric main stage. We have Welcome to RuneFest streamer Q&A, old school. RuneScape reveal starts at 1400. And where is the other stage? So on the other stage we have Raiders of the Lost Art, RuneScape Skilling. So RuneScape Skilling is where we're going to start at 1300, and then we'll jump over back to the main stage for RuneScape Reveals at 1400. And that's probably all we will cover, unless there's a specific section we might do the combat section if we can get people who are available to talk the combat, which would be at 16:30. So there might be a break-in. That might not be live. It might be just posted after the fact. But we'll definitely be live from 1300 past through to 1500. I assume this is UTC, is what they're putting. There's no like time code here. It's just
generally go
times.
GMT.
Is it GMT? Okay, so from 13 to 15 GMT, we will be live. Covering RuneFest on the 23rd of September. So I hope to see you there. And of course, you can tune into the real live stream for the before and after, because that's what we'll be doing. Anyway,
And
yeah.
sorry, just one other thing. If
Yeah.
people haven't read the patch notes, this
And unfortunately, that's where XSplit decided to cut the video. So thanks a lot, XSplit. Quality product as always. Glad I pay for you. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the show. We'll do our best to be back on Thursday, and more content coming for Bonus XP Weekend and RuneFest, so stay tuned. Until then, and as always, happy scaping.